Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Hello. Let's say it again.
Yes.
Oh, you're lovely.
He's back.
Lovely. He's back.
Yeah.
George is back.
Hey,
What the hell? How's it going, man?
what's up, Nerdrotic? Out on the frontier on a Sunday evening.
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
it.
where we like to be.
George Howard of the Cosmic Summit. George Howard, owner of a mammoth tusk.
Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should have just stuck with the tusk, Gary.
Yeah. You know,
It's
I
very
said that.
quiet. It always arrives.
Mm.
Yeah, paid for. But yeah, it's all of a piece.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about radical panspermia.
Yeah, man.
That's right. I'm down with panspermia. Radicalization.
There's just something about the word that catches your ear.
It does. It
Yeah, I
does.
don't know what it is.
Something
Second
about it. Not
syllable.
sure what it is.
Yeah.
And
Spreading it
other-
all
believe it.
around. Yeah.
All
we'll cover
over.
some other stuff.
Mhm.
God, who's the Antoine Petrov?
Yeah,
Russia-
Anton.
Mhm.
Yeah, Anton Petrov. His video today, really cool about like the possibility of how the Neanderthals might have went extinct, and it's due to a semi-polar shift.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah. Well, he
Nice.
kind of like gives both sides of the argument, right? So
Okay.
we can talk about that.
Well,
later.
Anton's pretty conservative. That sounds really neat.
Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's willing to talk. Yeah, the fact that he's open to talk about it when he's very, very, very academic, I thought was pretty cool.
That's
But
right.
yeah, other stuff. We'll get some news later on. Of course, we'll be talking about the Cosmic Summit. I'd be wearing my Cosmic Summit hat, but my wife stole it. So
Ah, I'm
30
doubling down with the hat and the shirt today
Yeah.
because the shirt doesn't
Hey.
always show. But the merch store is open. I will not be
Very
PT
cool.
Barnum too much this evening. But we do have some cool merch. But unfortunately, it's sorted where the cool stuff we put up first ended up at it's like we got Make America Cosmic Again hats that are killer, man. And some other stuff we're gonna put other funny stuff, but it's all at the bottom. So go to the merch store, check it out, get some shirts. We're not gonna have much at the Cosmic Summit because I just can't deal with that boxes of shit, man. I've got it all in my car right now. It just never works. No one ever picked the right number of t-shirts. So we're gonna have a minimal amount with a great merch store that delivers it in 3 days. So get them now. Okay.
Okay.
I,
need
yeah,
to
I,
check this
no, I feel
out.
you. I feel you. I got to take my shirts to a fan expo next week, and it's just going to be me
Mhm.
lugging a couple of boxes.
Mhm.
Oh,
And they
not really.
inevitably get mixed up in size. I mean, there's no way, at least I've never kept a box of shirts that you have to go get size. I don't know. It just all ends up just a mess.
I would highly recommend rubber band and then a piece of little paper with a letter S
And
M
just
L.
do it right.
That's what we
And
do.
don't
And then
tear
that
into the
from the
box.
very beginning, and
Yeah.
you could just throw in the box. And it'll never get
Yeah.
mixed.
I like
Well,
the
it'll probably get
internet too,
mixed.
though. The internet is very good for getting people their correct sizes. They just go with it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But it's also kind of uncool not to sell shirts at an event. But we're going to try to split the difference. We're going to have a limited number.
So who spilled something? Was that you, Adam? Did you not go?
It was a
bottle of hooch.
Sounded like you.
it was a 100 sided die, and it decided
Oh.
to roll from my desk.
D100?
It sounded
all
like
the
a
way-
bottle.
No, it was a
damn.
100 sided die. It's gone. I see it on the other side of the room.
Hate it when that happens.
Sorry about that.
And
Yeah.
no, it's all good, dude. No, I was like,
I
is that a
wonder what it
bottle?
landed on.
Yeah.
Should we take? You guys
Yeah.
want to guess?
Okay.
Chat. What do you think it landed on? I'll go check. What do you think? 69.
69.
Stole my
Classic.
number 42.
All right, George. What do you think The 100-sided die. What do you think it landed on?
100-sided die. Oh God, 35.
Okay, I'm gonna get it.
Let's
Okay.
see. Let's see
While he's getting that, I was checking out the merch, the Make America Cosmic again.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cute. Mecca.
Yeah. And science advances one funeral at a time. We got about a dozen cool other little
that's a good-
sayings, but we just
That's so
we
true.
hadn't got them up. It's going to be the coolest sane merchandise thing. If it's a free sane and uncopyrighted and it's cool and related, we're going to have stuff up there. And
Yeah.
it's so hard to get
Okay.
everything done. But we do have good
Someone's
merch.
one off.
Oh, somebody in the chat got it or no?
No one's got it yet. They're one number off. Should I just say what it is? No one's
Just say
guessed it.
Just say it.
All right, it's 48. It was 48.
Ah,
So I'm going to give it to
my second
Samuel
guess.
Norse. He had 47. That's the closest.
Samuel, well done.
Congratulations, Samuel. You just won absolutely nothing.
Officially almost a remote viewer.
Actually, Hayden Wayne was before him. 47. Wait, Akeem also guessed 47. All of you guys just won nothing.
Now they're guessing
Congratulations.
48. Look at they're all guessing 48 now.
A race to the bottom.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey, what's up, Adam?
Oh man. Just living life, being a dad. It's awesome. My son he did something amazing yesterday. I sit him at the piano and play piano with him every day. Every single day since he's been born. So 9 months of me sitting with the piano. Today or yesterday, we sat at the piano, and for the first time, before I even touched the piano, usually he just does this, right? Well, he started doing this.
Oh, he's doing the.
Nice,
Oh, I love
nice.
that.
He's playing.
And then he brought his other hand up and he started doing like softly, like, and then a little harder, like he was experimenting with the sound. Like he was realizing that like different weight changes. I mean, he's 9 months old. So, but as the musician, the dad in me, I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I might have cheered up a little bit. Like it was
That's
a magical
adorable.
moment. Yeah.
Cool
So-
stuff to watch.
Yeah, it was really incredible. So that's really all I can think about is like, sure, there's stuff going on, but like that was probably the most magical thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To see a lot of dad. It's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Then they'll really piss you off sometimes, and it's just you got to roll with it, man. You got to take the good with the bad.
Just enjoying it while it's here. Yeah.
The best thing is when they do the stupidest shit. You just kind of see, it's coming, and you just, like,
You
let
can't
this
stop
be a
it.
learning experience. No, you just let it go, and you go,
Yep.
Oh
That
my
moves
God.
into their 20s, I've noticed.
yes.
Yeah.
And even in their 30s.
Different kinds of stupid shit, but it's
Yeah,
still stupid
different
shit.
kinds,
Yeah.
but it's funny when they do it. You just laugh.
It's funny.
And go,
I see my dad's face, like thinking that. Like I remember being that dumb 17-year-old, and like the look that my dad would give me. And like,
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah.
I tried to stop you. I tried to tell
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
What's up, X-Ray girl? How you doing?
I'm good. Kind of like what Adam's going through. My niece, she's just started dancing a lot more to songs, and that to me is like very fun because I was the dancer in the family. So she is addicted to Run Baby Run and Lava Chicken right now. Every time those songs come on, she's just hopping all around. So I understand why people like watching other beings experience things for the first time, because seeing her do all these firsts, it's like, whoo, so cool.
It is cool. Kids are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They give you a new
And-
perspective.
I'm excited to talk about panspermia because this is something I never researched about.
Cool.
I wanted to learn
Good.
more about
Yeah,
at the
same.
time.
As George was saying before the show, like he's got his own show. He's been guests on podcasts. He's got his own thing. He's not just the guy who started the Cosmic Summit.
Thank you very much. I mean, not that I'm very proud of that, but I kind of got my own lane. I got my own weird science lane, which
Yeah.
is basically the Younger Dryas event, of course, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
part of that research team. But then I kind of had a sidecar. I wouldn't even call it a sidecar, and big interest in panspermia, and kind of ended up the same way where I got in touch with who I find to be the most credible and interesting scientists in the field. And that was 15 years ago. So, yeah, it's an interesting subject. Where would you like me to start, or do you have any initial questions? I know y'all looked into it just a tad.
The definition of panspermia, I think that's a great place to start on what it is.
Yeah.
And the difference between the panspermia theory and the radical panspermia theory, because I feel like from what I've seen, there's not really a lot according to like the general sources of panspermia research. Radical, like what makes it radical? I'm curious about that addition.
And that's kind of in the eye of the beholder, but I do that to distinguish from the first research people will do on panspermia. I don't think it's interesting, and it's the, well, I guess a little bit of a gateway drug. You know, you're like, huh, okay, that's a different way to think about things, and we'll explain what that is. And then radical panspermia is actually what I think is going on, and it's actually much more radical than the general descriptions of panspermia. But panspermia, and I got to kind of give the convenience store definition. We'll get in the radical stuff, but you know, it's the idea that life, you know, space isn't without life, and that it moves around. So we already are well acquainted with the idea, and plenty of work being done on this, that there might be alien life elsewhere visiting us in craft, and God bless that subject. But you kind of got to tone it down and say, okay, let's talk about basics. You know, if there are people flying around in machines, what kind of life is out there that is less than that? Because that's kind of hard to determine. And of course, NASA's very into that, and they're looking at other planets for life. Panspermia says that it's actually being transported between worlds is the first step. And what hobbles it with some descriptions is that it'll be presented as, hey, life began on Earth. Are we seeding the rest of the world, or seeding the rest of the solar system, the galaxy, the universe? Well, that's just as arrogant as thinking the only place. I mean, my first step is life didn't start here, right? Just if you want to think this way or test it out in your head, start there and just put away that, because Aristotle said two things. So there's a lot of things, but he said two things that I think are interesting and relevant here. He said, you know, the stars and the planets and the sun, that they orbit around us, that we are central, right? He's right about a lot of things. Great philosopher. It's, you know, but it's Aristotle. So he said, and he also said that life began in a warm little pond. Okay. So it took till roughly the Galileo and the, Copernicus in the 1580s or earlier. Copernicus, I think, is in the 1400s, to say, no, we're not the center of what we're seeing out there, right? And now that is just secondhand, and it seems so silly to think that they thought that all of this moved around us, but they were dum-dum. They weren't dum-dums, but it's what it looks like, and we had to think our way out of it. Okay. Well, what else does it look like? It looks like we're the only people around and we started here. Well, that ain't true. So it took it's going to take another 600 years to disabuse us of the second notion that all life started here in a warm little pond. And I mean, it's truly that profound that we are so stuck on that idea that is intrinsic to the way science approaches it, that there have been endless studies to try to determine how in the world some collection of molecules and chemicals 4 billion years ago on this planet resulted in us. Right? How did that happen? Well, just give yourself another 13 billion years. That helps, or another 8 billion, and give yourself the whole galaxy. No, excuse me, the whole galaxy, all of the cosmos, all of the universe. And then say, well, it probably, who the hell cares when it arose, is kind of where I am, because it is so profoundly timeless that it is intrinsic to the universe. And I don't make all this stuff up myself. That is part of what Chandra Wickramasinghe, who we'll discuss, and Fred Hoyle said, and they called it cosmic ancestry, that everything is descended from things in the cosmos. Okay, so if you, I'll take some, star stuff,
Carl
but actual life. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And then if you want to just drill down to the sexy stuff, you know, nuts like me believe.
Panspermia.
That's right, that it's moving around. So that's panspermia. Radical panspermists like myself believe that evolution was dramatically affected by contributions of viral DNA through retroviral processes and whatnot that is input from above and is raining down on us right now by the trillions and trillions
like
and
the
trillions.
Cambrian explosion is one of the things that they point to
Right, Adam.
that that would prove like there was an uptick in oxygen after this happened, and then I think in the layers they started finding more organisms after that point.
It just exploded. Right. So the question is, one, what happened to the stuff before? And two, where did all this stuff, come from all of a sudden? But that is one of the big jumps on the graphs of the contributions to life. In other words, it's happening right now. There's always a stream of not life, but DNA coming in and life. And we'll get to that. And it comes in comet dust. It's that simple. That all cosmic dust, I think it's something kind of reasonable, like 80 tons a day, because dust is not that heavy, but it is constantly raining down us. So where did that dust come from? The best umbrella term is comets. Okay, if you don't think about them as frozen or whatever, but proto material that's floating around out there. Okay, according to Chandra and Fred, and we need to get to them in just a second to give me some credibility so it doesn't sound like I'm a nut, that comets are seething balls of bacteria and microorganisms. They're absolutely living. And if you go compare Comet Halley's spectra to the spectra of some microorganisms, it matches. I forget, it's not E. coli, because that's the one I always talk about on podcasts. I forget what Halley matches. Maybe it's Streptococcus or whatever. But it actually matches, at least close enough. Now, there are a whole nother matter of these galactic clouds out there that match perfectly. But there is no reason not to believe. You got to see, that's what you kind of got to start from here. And you say, well, we just discovered that. No, hell no, we wouldn't. Shit, we sent one probe to look for life on Mars. One time it found life and we weren't able to admit it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all have done that, but it's just the Viking landers, 3 experiments confirmed life. And then they found a way to talk them out of it, talk themselves out of it.
And did the same thing with water for years. They knew water was up there. They knew water was on the moon. And they're like, no, it wasn't. It's like, you found it. You literally found it.
Yeah. It's because we have a model in our head. Yeah. Well, there's also institutional reasons, but there's just a huge cultural reason. If every single person on Earth thinks the moon doesn't have water. I mean, it's the moon. The moon is this dry, it might as well be a piece of cheese the way you're thinking about it, whatever. But no, there's just a lot more going on. And just because you were given that model of thinking about things, and one that I'm speaking of is that there aren't particles of life, desiccated, frozen, hibernating, if you will, just add water and heat. Life, microorganisms embedded in cosmic dust, which is actually visible, or potentially visible. These are not, you don't have to break out the atomic microscope to see a piece of cosmic dust. But you do have to see the particles that may be in it.
Yep.
And the viruses and stuff are 1,000,000 times smaller than that little thing you can see. So that's a great space station. That stuff's just floating around out there.
Yeah. We're floating around through, like you said, dust.
Yeah.
It could be dust from a planet that never formed, a planet that collided with something.
That's right.
Asteroids. These all could be pieces.
And that dust. Or larger objects, to get to what Adam said, at times is going to be a big jump. You're going to be in that very life-rich cloud. Maybe, you're pelted by actual things that also cause a catastrophe that wipe out the previous life, and it contributes to the mix. So think of Earth as a life collection plate. And and it's intuitive to humans too. It's funny, you both buy into it, and then it's also intuitive that some of the stuff is bullshit, or the mainstream is bullshit. And one of them is, you just look, I saw a bug in the backyard of where I am earlier today, and the first thing I said, it has a planet. It's a big weird bug, that had like eyes on its wings. How in the hell? And you think, how did this German Shepherd here and that bug and me and an elephant, how did it all branch out that way? Now,
I thought that was going to be a walk into a bar joke, but
Yeah.
I felt it coming.
what would it be? An elephant, a bug with eyes on its wings, a German Shepherd, all come into a
And
bar.
George Howard.
Yeah, give me a
walking to
cup
bar,
of
and
life.
the bartender
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
"What do you have?"
So yeah, all this diversity, and then this frustrates me because when they're pinned down with it, astrobiologists, which is the most worthless, dismal, self-defeating bunch of bullshitters that ever existed in any scientific discipline. They are literally have been in the job day one of telling people not investigating properly what they're into. It's just unbelievable, and they'll reject it. But if you get one of those mainstream guys and you go through kind of what I'm talking about, they go, okay, well, maybe it started somewhere else, but we don't know where that is, so it doesn't make any difference. I actually heard somebody say that on Lex Friedman, a lady scientist, who said that they punt and go, oh, so what? You're like, so what?
Yeah, that's insane.
Because it bugs them, but and they'll basically say, well, it still branched off and we evolved in one way or another. All these things are related and they went back to the same thing. Well, that maybe life merged several places, but the way I think about it, and I called my buddy Chandra, and we'll take this to the real deal people in a moment, one day, and I said, hey, Chandra, I've been thinking this in the back of my head. I've done the same thing with Younger Dryas Impact. Let me get this straight. Are you saying, does it result that there are worlds out there where one's going to be kind of whaley? Be kind of heavy on whales. It's a lot of water. That's kind of the dominance. I mean, it's whales, and yet maybe has some birds or whatever, or has its own mix. And then there are other planets that are just set up for, not set up, but are more accommodating and heavier in insects, right? And that's where kind of insects are evolving. Maybe it's that galaxy or whatnot. But all of this stuff is emerging in various mixes. And just think of the Earth as a collection plate, not the only one. It's being collected, and other collection plates are going to look different. And other going to be heavier in some things than others. But all these things that you're like, oh my God, how is it all connected? They started out there. And we've just been receiving contributions of that DNA ultimately. And things didn't go like, the squid didn't turn into the octopus at the Cambrian explosion, Adam. That's one of the things that changed. All of a sudden, squids, still squids, but then this thing pops up called an octopus. And
octopus literally flew here in a spaceship. I think.
Yeah, I think octopus. Did you watch the Y-Files video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, octopus are
talks
weird.
about it.
Yeah, but
that's the octopus comes from like those eggs that they found that had 3 hearts, right. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So wait, confirmed octopuses are aliens? I mean, I always thought weird. It anyway.
Likelier to be aliens.
But I think we all are. I agree with George. I think we all are. And I think just this. Somebody aliens. Said it in the chat. It's kind of like a programmed a spore. It's like cosmic spores, and it comes down and it rains down, and some of it takes and some of it doesn't, and it takes in certain different ways depending on the environment of the planet, which changes constantly. Adam, you talked about there being more oxygen, and it looks like there was more oxygen not too long ago, prior to the Younger Dryas, because there was a lot of big things on this Earth that couldn't really survive. Yeah, wouldn't really survive today. So, I think it's completely viable. And that's what I believe. That's what I believe.
Well, one of the biggest proof that I saw was an asteroid. What is it called? It's a meteorite, the Murchison meteorite. It was found, fell in 1969, and they discovered
69.
Yep, that's right.
I
rolled
12.
the die again. That's okay. No, they found organic compounds, tens of thousands of them inside this meteorite, and it's like, well, I mean, doesn't that just instantly reveal that
they found fossils. They found fossils, and
he blanked out. He froze up.
Oh no!
He froze up right at the good part.
Oh yeah, I know. I want to hear what he's saying.
They flop.
Please come back.
From life on Mars.
Oh, there.
Okay,
Wait,
he's back.
wait, start
Oh, you got to
over.
repeat all
Restart
that.
Restart
Oh,
that.
and that was
Everything you just said.
as Malcolm Bendall called it, we were contested right there because that was
Yes,
my
we were.
punchline. Okay, nah. In I think it was 96, right before we got out of office, maybe 95. Bill Clinton went in the Rose Garden, had a press conference, and said we found life on Mars.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
It made it in the movie
evidence
Contact.
that
The
life
second
was
time,
there.
they were just about to just say, hell, and they sit and have those bureaucratic meetings, and somehow they rolled that one back.
Yeah,
Like, what? Talk about memory holding.
yeah.
I mean, what would
Well,
Clinton
there's
tell
a
you now?
big.
He's
I gotta.
still
I
alive?
gotta say though, there's a big difference between finding life on Mars and finding ancient fossils that life was on Mars a long
That's
time
true,
ago, which is what they found.
but
That's
stage
still
one
life
takes
on
you.
Mars, technically. I mean,
Okay,
Well,
millions.
Unless
we
you picked
we
it up
would
on the way
maintain
here.
that there's life
Yeah.
on Mars now. See,
I
dude,
believe
no, it's
there
littered with
might be.
microbial life.
yes,
It wouldn't
microbial
surprise
life.
me at all.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, and just like here, you might, if you're not, it's all what you're testing for, right? Okay, so we sent the Viking landers there, and not one single spaceship has had a life detection device on it since.
That we know.
None of
publicly.
them. No probes, no rovers. And you said the word. They
Mm.
said that the maybe you didn't say it. You said organic molecules, but whenever you see this term, let the red flags go up. Oh, critical thinkers of the internet, the term building blocks of life.
Okay.
And you will see that in life detection stuff and life experimentation, life in space is always like, that's astrobiologists love to talk about how they're finding these building blocks all over the way. No, it's damn life. They're detecting if you went and looked at yourself with a did a spectrogram, whatever, determined your chemical composition, the detecting what you are, they'd say, there's a bunch of building blocks of life there in Adam Crigler.
I am the building blocks of life.
But the building is actually built. Yes, it's building blocks, but damn it, they're put together and it's living. So most of the chemistry they're detecting out there is actually life. But remember, if you're just saying, oh, it's this molecule and that molecule and that molecule, that's what it would take to put together life. It'd say, well, if it was actually life, microbial life out there, would you get the same reading? Yes, but that doesn't exist. It's such bullshit. And I tell you, we are so close to punching through it, and I want it to come in Chandra Wickramasinghe's life. And if you will, I'd like to talk about my friend Chandra.
Sure.
Absolutely.
He's an amazing guy, and he talked at the Cosmic Summit the first couple of years. We actually do not have a Panspermia speaking this year. So this is really just me, not just pitching tickets. But Chandra spoke the first couple of years remotely because he couldn't make it. He's in his mid-80s. It's good health. Tried to get him physically the second year, and we called it off towards the end. So Chandra Wickramasinghe, he has an amazing life story. He's a Sri Lankan, now called, or back then, Ceylon, right? And when he was a boy, first of all, his father was a mathematical genius, okay, in the capital of Sri Lanka, an academic. He was a genius, the country's great mathematician. His brother was as well, and then Chandra was as well. And they did testing back then, and this is very patronizing old empire stuff. But the British Empire, which existed in his lifetime when he was a little boy, they would test everybody, or maybe not everybody, but they had big testing programs to find the smartest brown people out there. Was kind of what they were doing. And we'll give them a scholarship and let them come to Cambridge or Oxford. Right? And this was a government program. It kind of makes sense, but it's also got a lot of problems if you let know. But they were out there and said, okay, who in the
original
empire?
DEI?
Yeah, kind of, but no, at least it was a meritocracy. You had to be smart.
Okay.
And you had to beat every other kid in the test in Sri Lanka. So that was Chandra. So he won a scholarship from England to come to Cambridge. All expense paid. And he got on a steamship when he was 17 years old. I love that. An old steamship. You don't hear that much. How many people walk around it? So his parents kiss him goodbye as a 17-year-old and send him off on a steamship to England and to the hands of Sir Fred Hoyle, who was the greatest, widely acknowledged to be the greatest British scientist of the 20th century. Among other things, he explained how the sun works, and we still follow that model. And that appendage to his name was well-deserved. He's Sir Fred Hoyle. and is the greatest scientist in England and one of the greatest in the world of all time. And they delivered Chandra to him, and he became his protege. And that was about 1960 or so. And they started doing early kind of geochemical analysis, interpretation of things in space. And then they came forward in the late 60s, around 69 or 70, and had the astounding discovery that still stands today, that if you go look at galactic clouds of dust, you know, those dust clouds that are kind of out there, it's not a galaxy, or maybe it's in a galaxy, but whatever, they're just
Like
big
Pillars
clouds of
Creation,
dust. Yeah.
Famous picture of
Exactly.
yeah.
Adam. And so you kind of picture that dust as like a bunch of mica or something, you know, or some kind of little, in my head, little bits of graphite. I guess that wouldn't be an organic molecule. No, graphite would be, it'd be carbon. Okay. But not then so they discovered that very, very important thing. And then they kept going and said, okay, what kind of organic molecules are these? Right. And bottom line is that Chandra's brother, Daryl, went and took a telescope. He ran the telescope in Australia, and they did the spectra of a galactic cloud, right? And looked at its spectra that shows the various wavelengths of light. And it matched E. coli perfectly. So if you had a gigantic hundreds of millions of miles across cloud of E. coli, that's what the spectra would look like. Nobody would deny that. All the little points match. But of course, it went nowhere. So they published 70 papers in Nature. This is a guy who's a sir and the smartest boy in the empire at Cambridge in Nature, saying, look, world, it's everywhere out there. It's in comets, it's on all the planets. There's probably a little less of it on the moon because there's no atmosphere. It's not in the sun because things get, but every place that you can imagine, including just floating around there in comet dust, is life. And that's why we're here. They were never refuted, only ignored, forgotten, and derided. And it was a little hard to put Sir Fred back. They have a statue of him at the university, bronze statue. But his life story is generally reported that he went, Fred got a little sketchy towards the last 20 years. How insulting is that? No, he took us where we needed to be because he was that fucking smart. And for a variety of bullshit, sociological, creepy human reasons, we couldn't admit it to ourselves and even created a discipline. They were the first astrobiologists. No one had ever, that was a bizarre term in 1969. They were the first astrobiologists. And the astrobiologists today will not credit them to save their life. And that includes that piece of shit Avi Loeb that everybody loves. I'll say it right here.
If they're
That's a little strong piece of shit. I don't know the guy. I like to keep pieces of shit to people I know. But damn it.
People nowadays that are claiming they're astrobiologists, like what exactly are they bringing to the board? Like what are they talking about?
Building blocks of life. They go points on that. We did this, and I said, it took the building blocks of life. Building blocks of life. Like Mars breathes methane on a seasonal basis because it gets warm. The microbes heat up, and they exhale methane. They will sit there and come up with geological explanations for this. It's like the Younger Dryas thing. How many times can they whack the mole without people noticing, hey, there's a field full of moles here? There's so many of them. You got to bullshit us on some, got to debunk us or whatever it is on so many things that you're like, we're not wrong about all this shit. Nobody's lying about it. No, there's life absolutely everywhere.
Yep.
And Chandra still lives, and I want him to, and I'll get to some proof of it in a second. I'll give some people some hard proof if you want. But go ahead, Gary.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, there's also the possibility of life in the clouds of Venus, where the temperature is you have to go pretty high, but it's in like the 70s. The surface of the planet is about 800 degrees. And it again filled with methane. Now, methane can, there's other sources of methane, but one of the main sources of it is life.
Organisms.
And
Okay.
especially when George just brought up there's seasonal methane on Mars,
Breathing.
and we've already caught NASA bullshitting us about Mars. They're putting that red hue to the pictures forever, and now you see pictures of it, and it looks like the effing California desert. You know, it's got a blue sky, little grayish blue sky, but a blue sky. And not all the sand is red; it's black. It's all different colors. And you see little wisps of clouds close to the surface, which means there has to be some kind of fucking moisture there, you know, of some kind. Dude, there's pictures of mist. It looks like a morning mist on Mars. It's hazy. So I don't know what the haze that might be the methane. I don't know.
I spent 10 years looking at those pictures of craters drooling shit down the side, and they're sitting there saying we haven't proved it yet. It's like the Carolina Bays. I mean, when you just look at it and go, no, I'm a fucking thinking person. That's water dripping out of the side of that or something liquid. And they, whatever.
No, it was
the Carolina Bays. You look at it and say, well, something hit that. And you're like, oh, no. Let me tell you what really happened. I know, don't look. Your eyes are fooling you, sir.
And the thing they tell you that happened underground takes more explanation. I mean, that sounds like absolute science fiction. I would,
where they got to go piece together everything.
I think a giant piece of ice hit Carolina at an angle.
There you go.
or something.
I'm not sure when. I don't necessarily tie to the.
Don't know when. No, well, remember that I'm forgetting that geologist's name that Graham talks about in Magicians of the God, and Randall talk about too. But like he'd always say, "Hey, there's signs of catastrophic flooding," and then all the other geologists goes, "Okay, where does it come from?" He's all, "Doesn't fucking matter. There's signs of it."
I love it.
I couldn't tell you where it comes from.
That's almost like they do with the life thing, where you give them the thing and they go, I don't know. You can't give me the explanation of where it actually started. We're still trying to find how it started. So I'm not interested if it started somewhere else because you can't tell me how it started. You're like, look, let's get the scene down. Let's get rid of the Aristotle thing. Okay. Quit with that. Quit with that. It didn't start here. What are the odds if you've got collections of stuff that could produce life that it started here? It's the most arrogant thing. Again, it's like the world circle, you know, the cosmos circle around us. It's the exact same vibe.
Every single scientific industry, it's the same thing. They don't want to be wrong. And the fundamental parts of science is finding out you're wrong. And a good scientist would be happy to find out that they're wrong.
Job security.
Well, you want to know the truth of it.
Yes.
And most of science is questioning over and over and over again. It's like all of these, it's not just, you know, astrobiology, it's everything, archaeology, you know, medicine, all the stuff. It's like these people want to just rigidly hold on to what they know instead of allowing themselves to be corrected and having to do the work. It feels like it's almost like that lazy, I want to just keep the easy road until I die kind of energy. And it sucks because it's holding us back.
Well, you know, I've got my personal working explanation for that summary is kind of mundane, and it's because of bureaucracies, man.
Yep.
Bureaucracies are a terrible, terrible human phenomena that has to be resisted at every step. And the private sector has them too. This is not just a government, but at least those big corporate bureaucracies, somebody comes in occasionally and starts fucking firing people. You know what I mean? If you don't have somebody at the top that can fire anybody below them, you got a bureaucracy. And what happened in the 20th century is all the people responsible for discovery became bureaucrats first and curious people second, man. And bureaucracies don't discover shit.
Yep.
And it just bogged us down. Even when we had all the better tools, we couldn't accept the ideas that they presented us because
they're not trying to do that work. They're trying to just teach, sell their books. It's like the tourism. They don't want to excavate anything. They just want to sell the stuff and make money off it and just sit and rest on their laurels.
Many of them are curious as hell and know damn well everything I'm saying is true. And we know that for a fact. I mean, Richard Hoover at NASA, he's been there 40 years saying this exact stuff. He happened to be, you know, a tenured bureaucrat and stuck with it and valuable to him for other reasons. But you can't get much senior than him. I mean, Ted Bunch was head of exobiology, part of the Younger Dryas Impact Group. He believed all this. He was head of exobiology. You know, it's like, but the bureaucracy, even the head guys, can't go change it because that's their thing. They're looking for building blocks. And if you go to the meeting and go, hey, could we put an actual direct life detection? And this is going on now. There's people are getting fed up with it. I mean, it's so obvious. The paradigm is in complete crisis that we're going to get a life detection test. Hopefully, maybe Elon will take up. Elon is actually a panspermist, isn't he? He really spreads it around.
Yes.
Right? He's the
Yes,
original
he does.
panspermist.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Preceding humanity by himself. So
okay, well
Yeah,
let's get to the interesting stuff.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
You said
so
you had
proof-
some proof.
That's right. Okay. So
Mhm.
I dropped this in our chat. I wish I knew y'all were going to be kind of looking into it. I would have gotten you to it before, but I can tell you all about it now. The space station.
Oh yeah,
is
it's got
encrusted
mold and
with
fungus
life.
all over it.
Yeah. Well, there's fungus on the inside, and it probably got in from the outside. And there are fungus. Then there's fungus on the outside too, Adam. And there's
Mhm,
also viruses,
Radiation resistant
bacteria.
fungus.
Yep.
That's right. Thank you for calling that up, Gary. And that's my old Cosmic Tusk blog, and which covers the younger ice related stuff, and then kind of sidecar panspermia. So I was waiting in the pickup line for my son's like 5th grade class one day. I'm reading my phone, and it pops up, says plankton found on outside of space station. And I was like, hell yes, Chandra's been proven right. Hell, and he's only 75 or whatever he was. You know, he's going to get vindicated. They found plankton. He predicted that shit, you know. And man, you talk about some crickets. It went clickbait for like 3 days. Zero like follow-up. It came from I guess there's some justification for it not taking off because it came from a press release from TASS or whatever, you know, one of those old Russian news agencies.
Yeah.
And it said that we found plankton, and it kind of didn't describe it well, but plankton on the outside of the space station. So then I got clickbaited. Then I guess they weren't prepared to talk about it, or they moved it away, and it just went crickets. And I hated that because I thought it was going to be the big breakthrough. And then I had missed that that was like 2015. Then in 2018, I believe it was, they actually did come out with a paper. And I had missed it for a few years. And I guess I was in touch with Chandra, but I don't know. I just didn't know that they had come forth with a paper. And it, of course, got crickets. Then that didn't even become clickbait. But what they said in the paper, they described their testing protocols, methods, their results, their conclusions, all of that, just as a scientific paper does. And said, basically, I believe, I always forget these exact numbers. I think it is 10. 10 times in 6 trips or whatever, they went out in spacewalks. It took years and took, as they describe in some detail in the paper, that is the first paper. Is that Grabenikova? I don't know.
That's a 2018 paper by.
Yeah, that's the original.
Robert.
No. Go to the other one on that
Other
page, if
one?
you will. Yeah,
This
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, I should have that one on top of the other one. But I think I was just being cute because the one on top's right, and I'll explain why. Okay, go ahead, and if we could see the top of that, Grabenikova et al. Okay. Cosmic dust at International Space. The DNA of bacteria, the world's ocean, and Earth is in cosmic dust at the International Space Station. Absolutely no.
That's an incredible sentence.
It is.
That alone is incredible.
Okay.
Interesting.
The same DNA in the world's ocean is on the space station.
And how did they collect it? And I was on
Amazing.
Danny Jones and said this, and it came out with a viral clip, but it's true. The
It was
Russians,
the dolphins on their way out. Thanks for all the fish.
Yeah. So long and thanks for all the fish.
but what they did on these spacewalks is the Russians took a tampon.
Yeah, a tampon right here.
Yeah, and they described like the type of tampon. And then when I said that on the Danny Jones thing, this thing went viral. All these people in the content saying tampons are dirty. You wouldn't use a tampon. Bullshit. You don't go manufacture. If a tampon works, that's fine. They know it It
Good
just
for
works.
collecting.
Yeah, and I'm sure they sent it up there clean, for God's sakes, you know. I mean, double clean. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not used is what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Brand new. Oh,
Okay.
good
Moving
check.
on. Like I said, the damn bomb thing's a little weird. Okay. But they took it and actually swiped that window. See that there's a big window, actually, like a tourist window on the space station. And they swiped that window and they came back and then sent it all back to Russia. And what I think is credible about this paper, sometimes you'll see a paper that has wild conclusions, see what your name's at the top, and you're like, well, who are these people? But you can kind of figure that if the people at the top of that paper had their hands on stuff that it took a spacewalk to obtain, they're probably credible people or whatever. You know, that's serious stuff, not your run-of-the-mill scientists. They're in that lane. And they took it back, and it was just absolutely chock-a-block full with particles of life. Everything from E. coli to certain planktons and diatoms and diatomaceous planktons, I think you call them, staph. It was all out there. Right? Okay, so then they're presented with a problem. The paradigm is, because that had never been noted before, that 400 kilometers up, there's life. So you got to say, okay, where'd it come from? You got either it's going to be contamination, and these scientists, I guess it's in their interest not to go the contamination route, but they ruled out contamination because they were the people conducting the thing. And they felt that they followed the protocols that said, because contamination kills all of these studies. That's all somebody has to say, oh, it's contaminated. How can you prove it's not contaminated? Okay, but you bring the stuff back, you test, and by contaminated, I mean the natural stuff that's around in labs and whatnot somehow got in there. Okay, so they are presented with a problem, and what they say in the paper is there are only two, and they got this right, there are only two options here. Either it came from above or it came from below. All right? And they punted. Can't really blame them. Government scientists in Russia, it would have been a big, big claim if you got those two options, right? To say that it came from above. They attributed it, damn it, I should have had this quote up, to some kind of an unknown electrical vortex process that somehow captures the life. Like they trace some of the plankton to the Barents Sea, for instance.
You see, when a whale sneezes,
Oh, here, right here. It's right here.
certain
it was a
coordinates
whale.
and spirals.
Exactly, man. And they said, oh, we don't really know how this works, but clearly it's swirling its way up into the edges of that.
You got caught in a water spout,
400
you know,
miles.
and
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. Now, that's interesting enough. Here's where it gets double interesting, is that look at that paper. If you'll go back to the top, the lead author isn't, if I'm not incorrect, is TV Grabenikova.
Yes, it is.
The woman who discovered life in space. That should be on her tombstone. It should be in every child's book. She is the person who discovered life in space.
Now, was it her tampon or?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You had to go there. You had to go there. Okay. But here, this shows what a brave woman Ms. Grabenikova is. So they publish a paper that equivocates whether it's above or below, or actually leans towards below. And then now, if you will, sir, go to the next paper. Then I think it was within a year or so. I can't see the dates, but relatively soon after.
2018.
Yeah, Grabenikova goes and joins Chandra. And the rest of them, is she in there? Or am I messing up here?
Grabenikova is mentioned her research.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
She's the sixth
right here.
Second line.
Oh,
Second line.
I'm saying this a lot on podcasts. I don't go back and do my original research again to refresh. Okay, but no. She and I think one or two of the other Russian scientists went and joined Nailan Chandra Wickramasinghe. You can see as the first author, they're the most radical panspermist bar none. I mean, he is the totally suppressed, forgotten guy who made all these claims, and they went public, and then they're unequivocal that it came from below, that it's stupid to that it came from above, that it's a dumbass idea it came from below. She's basically, it's a tell where, you know, you could take those two papers and you're like, well, Grabenikova for whatever reason didn't agree with their conclusions on the first paper. Then they jump ship and tell the truth. And that's that it came from above. Okay. But here's another cool twist to this. If the first paper is right and that it came from below, well, that proves panspermia. Then we're
it's going
breeding
out.
life out in the
Yeah.
cosmos.
Yeah.
And it can survive out there. Yeah.
Either
And-
way, it's an incredible discovery. The
Yep.
more incredible thing happens to be true. But that is how can such things not go discussed? How can you be the space reporter for NBC News and just not go, hey, what's the deal with this? I mean, they don't even bother to rule the shit out, because when somebody looks into it, they go, oh, this is true. Am I going to be the one to say it? No. No. I'll
Nope.
just go cover the next Elon launch. You know? Okay.
Yeah, it's, you understand why they started out with the system of checks and balances. We need to make sure that people aren't full of shit. We completely get it, but it has turned into information gatekeeping now, and it's just run amok. And it is and it's bureaucracy, which stifles all progress whatsoever. Just watch a show called Clarkson's Farm. You get a little idea of how bureaucracy destroys farms and eating. It's constant. It's the way of the world, you know, and it sucks. And that's why what they do is they create this vacuum that that amateurs and will go out there and fill, and they'll get more attention. And now we're seeing that cycle happen right now, which is really good. But like, it's insane to think. I mean, it's insane to think there isn't life in the universe.
In my view, bureaucracies ultimately, when they become sclerotic and counterproductive enough, they end up actually providing the opposite of the good that they were supposed to provide. The housing agency will somehow result in housing shortages. The health agency is somehow going to make you less healthy. The guys looking
Obamacare will give you less health insurance.
That's right. The guys looking for life in space are the last guys who are ever going to find life in space, because they're all part of these giant bureaucracies that don't have any, don't have.
Well, and there's also this whole argument of like, life can't exist in the vacuum of space, which that in itself is separately debunked outside of all of this conversation, on multiple different things. The fungus and the stuff that we found on the International Space Station, scientists found dormant 100 million year old microbes that they brought into a lab and agitated them, and they came back alive after being dormant for 100 million years. Now it was from a sample at the bottom of the ocean.
Sure.
But
the ability, was it also a good idea? Probably not. No. But we got lucky this time.
That's how horror movies start. You know? But it's true, right? And then extremophiles exist, the tardigrades. I mean, they can exist out in space. So like, we know that life can exist out there.
And why would our evolutionary processes have prepared those if a tardigrade, that's a great example. And people, if they want to go look up tardigrades,
they're so
it's a lot
cute.
of fun. Yeah, they're cute. They're cute and ugly everywhere around the world. They're in your yard right now. They're absolutely everywhere. And according to the man,
if you have lichen, they love lichen. They live on lichen.
That's
they're
right.
Water bears.
They're little water bears. Well, those dudes, why in the hell would they have evolved to survive space? I mean, why did they need that skill?
There had to be a reason.
It's because lots of things can survive space, because that's the main way that they got to get to other places. And we only find the things that were able to survive space one way or another. They didn't start here.
My wife said they look like they're wearing a scuba suit and have buttholes for mouths.
They're killer animals, man.
So right. And now you can't unsee it.
Yeah, well, they're really the aliens. I mean, think of it that way. Well, what would an alien look like? Well, there you go. That guy came from outside. That's what he looks like. It's not much like us. And I think they're probably human worlds. I think humans are something like us, and our gray friends and our Nordic friends and all of these cats, that is the kind of maybe the apex, if you will. That's what happens.
It probably was
go for 13 billion years or longer.
Earth has had life on it for 4.5 billion years. For 3 billion years, they were single-celled organisms. So for most of the life on our planet, Like it was probably that stuff raining down, the dust that was sprinkling in, that was mixing over those billions of years to then suddenly develop. I mean, maybe these guys arrived and they're like, all right, we need to, there's a new guy in town that we got to contend with. We got to up our shit here.
Okay, well, let me take you one of the things that gets Chandra in trouble, but he's damn right. Okay, they also attribute most large viral illnesses and pandemics, a term we've all become real familiar with, right, to viruses from space. Okay,
Or
and
man-made in Wuhan.
exactly, Adam. And
I'm just saying, I got to point out.
There's that too. Both can be true. They are not
True,
mutually
just true.
exclusive.
I love it. Ben Shapiro says that all the time, and I do too to all my friends and family now. Two things can be true at once. We forget that these days. Everything's supposed to have two sides.
Right.
Everything like, no. Two things can be true at once.
Space COVID. Uh-oh.
That space COVID, and I went down that path because COVID came out, and I'm like, holy shit. Chandra's been saying the 1918 flu came from space for years. Right? For decades, published papers on it. With Fred Hoyle.
That's the one I've actually heard. I didn't know it came from him, but
that's right. That absolutely came from
Cool.
him. And that flu showed up in Bombay and Boston on the same day. You can't shake hands that quick. It wasn't people hugging and kissing around the world. It went boom.
Yeah, 2 spots.
Right? And then everybody said, well, it came from Fort Riley, Kansas, and the World War I veterans that had been sent back to Fort Riley and they all got sick. I go back and look at that, and I don't know how I stumbled on this one. You talk about damn rabbit hole to rabbit hole. That damn meteorite flew over that thing like 3 weeks before the first noted case struck, went all the way across Kansas, so dropping fiery sparks, and it's reported in all these papers right before.
Shit, now I'm thinking about that freaking spewed gas, experimental fuel all the way across the freaking America. Did you see this?
I knew they do that kind of stuff.
This was weird. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, a China space rocket spewed out experimental fuel in space, and you could see a big streak in the sky. There's an image of it. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah,
but I mean, what's that going to do when it hits the atmosphere? I mean, or what's in it? They said it's an experimental fuel, but like
experimental fuel.
What is it?
I think we were the experiment.
Yeah,
ding, 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 ding.
Experiment is what the hell happens after you drop that fuel.
Yeah. Oh, it's way worse than chemtrail. Wait till you see this. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, did you? Yeah, there it is. Look at this. Yeah.
Accused of dumping experimental fuel in streak seen across American sky.
That's great. I mean,
I might have seen
that's a great line if you're trying to attack without anyone knowing.
That's right. So they were already published.
Sorry to sidetrack it here.
No, it's fine. I just want to add some more meat to the bone because it all sounds so damn crazy. But by God, people, just go do 20 minutes. I'm not talking to y'all, just in general. 20 minutes gets you exactly what I'm talking about if you got the good endpoints, and that's Chandra and Fred Hoyle and whatnot. And in the astrobiology.org, cosmicancestry.org, but just Chandra Wickramasinghe, W-I-C, Wick Rama, R-A-M-A-N-S-I-N-G-E. And
also check out the Cosmic Summit YouTube channel. This guy's been putting up all of the awesome talks from last year, which I watched all weekend long. It was fantastic remotely, which you can do also using code Nerdrotic if you want to check it out. If you can't show up yourself, it was 100% awesome. There's a chat room, and it's fantastic. So many awesome. Sorry, I'm going to do it for you. All right,
man. No, you can damn pimp the summit all you want.
If you're watching,
go, man. Go.
Just give me a time to jump in front of the camera. And I'll
you got a time. I mean, now we're going to talk a little summit. Believe me, Fred and Chandra proved through epidemiology, and of course they got criticized whether they're astrophysicists and whatnot. What are they doing epidemiology? But obviously they got into life in the 70s. They're like, how does life work? How can we prove this? And they went and took boarding schools in England and showed that the damn stuff that was getting them sick was coming in through the windows. And it had certain epidemiological, and that most of them do, that suggest. So then COVID came, and we did think that that must have been another one, right? So we published a paper. I was actually part of one. There were some very strange things that suggested some of this stuff, but I think we were wrong. And I guess I'd be the first to say it. I don't know what the other ones would say, but we're dead wrong. It was a lab leak. And that came from the University of North Carolina Gilling School of Public Health in Ralph Barrick's laboratory. They invented COVID at the school. My ex-partner, chair of board of trustees. I know, I don't know anything from him. I'm just bugging him about this. I'm like,
you know what I'm worried about, though, right? I mean,
it came from Carolina, man. Carolina invented that bug. There's less controls on viral manufacturing. You see them in those spacesuits. Give me a break. That is PR. They're playing with that shit all the time.
A Chinese diplomat was caught in an airport in 2017, 18. I don't remember exactly the year. He had vials of COVID-1, the bird flu, the swine flu, or whatever, the H1N1
monkeys.
He legitimately had him in his pocket, and they let him go.
No,
Great
it's
question,
Frankenstein shit. No, Carolina shipped mice over with human lung tissue with Duke and sent it to damn Hong Kong. They shipped it through Hong Kong to Wuhan. What they were doing was downloading the shit that they couldn't do here to a bunch of sloppy communists, and it locked us in our houses for 3 years. And you can see I got a rant on this, and because it's in my home state, I went to the school. I've done all the research on it. ProPublica did a piece during COVID. It was amazing because that's kind of a left-leaning investigative journalism thing, but it's one of the few that did it right. And when it said, what the hell's going on here? So we make COVID viruses at Carolina? Well, how many incidents have they had? 26 different reported incidents. During COVID, they had someone get bit by a mouse that was part of a gain of function research, and they told her to go home and self-quarantine for 2 weeks or something like that. Another one, right? There is less regulation on those labs. There's really none when you go look at it. You figure there's some, federal agency coming through with a clipboard.
Oh, hell no.
There really is, man.
It's just it's just like rendition, right? We know what gain of function is. Rendition is when we basically third-partied out our torture, right?
Exactly.
And so everything in government is hidden in third-party incorporations.
Yeah, and that was at the Smithfield Regional Airport, about 40 minutes southeast of Raleigh, is where they flew those rendition planes. They take off in Smithfield, fly over there, and move people around dark sites. It's but with the COVID thing. Everybody's freaking out. Oh, we got to get the Wuhan. If we just had ProPublica went and did the study. There've been all of these incidents at that lab. And if you think about dangerous things you can do, I wrote an op-ed on this. It's not published yet because I wanted to get somebody with a bigger name that had medical credentials and still working on it. But if you compare it to nuclear stuff, Raleigh, North Carolina, got to use another example, our capital city. I don't know, not 1 out of 100 of my friends know there's a nuclear reactor in downtown Raleigh at NC State. Now, it's a small one, but it's a nuclear reactor. Do you worry about it? No. Why don't we worry about it? Because there are agencies that come through there. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission, I used to run a subcommittee in the U.S. Senate that had that under it. I know how the Nuclear Regulatory Commission works. They actually do regulate that stuff. And there's somebody coming by with a clipboard going, okay, you keeping it cool under reactor 98, there are 220 in the US or whatever, they watch it. But you can go, and what would be the worst thing that could happen? If you had a meltdown in a full-scale reactor or a small one like at State, okay, you get right down to it. It proved at Chernobyl, it's a regional thing. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It's permanent damn near, but it is regional. But you can go from NC State, where that reactor is, and drive over to Chapel Hill, and you can invent a damn bug that could kill every single fucking person on Earth. And there's nobody coming through with a clipboard?
No.
By the way, YouTube, we are not medical professionals, and
Oh,
We're
you
just,
can imagine what happened.
hypothetically talking.
The lab that
PTSD.
invented it, is led by this guy, Ralph Baer. He had $280 million in grants to do this work. That's $250 million. Do you think the school's going to fess up to that anytime soon? No. They have taken all the emails, fought it in Orange County court, every move by Right to Know, great organization, RTA or RTK, DC organization that tries to get emails out of liars and cheats, try to get them out of Carolina, and they're fighting the hell out of it because it's proprietary, might be economic knowledge. No, they know that, damn it, the bat lady was best friends with her. So if you want what was the bat lady up to over there in China, then look at the other side of the email chain that's sitting on servers in Chapel Hill, for God's sakes. Everything they did was coordinated. It's little Wuhan. Chapel Hill's little Wuhan. And I say that as an alumni. It's just, okay, I don't know how the hell we go. It kind of gets to Panspermia. I mean, we're talking about
Well, no, I think it's a great point. I think it's good to point out that they feel that nuclear power is not as safe as this, when it is 1,000 times, 10,000 times safer than the shit.
You can't have an accident that's going to kill large portions of the world's population. Well, even
Chernobyl is turning around, and we're finding out strange things. And those wolves, the wolves of Chernobyl,
the foxes' coats are thicker. Dogs' teeth are wider.
Well, they're finding out that humans have a resistance over time. It's like the first couple generations is going to have a rough fucking time, but eventually, if there's children, they are going to be able to be more resistant. It's in our DNA. Yeah.
I mean, what I'm seeing here, though, is the makings of another Bond movie where they understand that dispersing this thing, instead of sending this woman home who got bit by a mouse, or sending people into different airports, it's like, why don't we just, I don't know, fly a rocket and just tell everybody, oh, it's experimental fuel that we're ejecting. That's what that streak is.
I don't think we deliberately infected anybody. That I think
no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying hypothetically, this is a 100% a possibility that people could do that. They could very easily just have a satellite just.
Just as far as a bioterrorism threat, you're damn right.
That's
it's
what
scary
I'm
as
talking
shit.
about.
It's right up there with the sun, and way ahead of
crazy to think about.
Yeah, that stuff will keep me up at night. And
who knows?
I'm the comic catastrophe guy, and it's not even my top scare. The sun's the number one.
Yeah.
Number two is this kind of Frankenstein stuff, because it is Frankenstein stuff. And I say that in the op-ed that Frankenstein, do you remember the full name of the book was Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus? They just can't stop themselves. Mary Shelley identified that in the 1750s or whenever the hell she wrote that book, 1850s.
Nature of Man.
And that, just like any good literature, defined a certain kind of person, an archetype that exists out there. And that's Ralph Barrick at UNC. He is Frankenstein. He will not stop. It doesn't matter how fucking dangerous it is. And I'm sure he thinks he's doing it the right way. I'm not saying he's out there deliberately being sloppy, but bureaucracies get sloppy. But their desire to get to the bottom of their little narrow discipline, which is a very specialized one, obviously, creating more dangerous more dangerous viruses, for God's sakes. They can't stop that. If you're the guy that's the number one more dangerous virus guy, ain't nothing going to stop you. You're not going to pull back.
No, and they're going to do it under the guise of, we're trying to protect you from
a
virus that's deadly. Oh, sure, we're making the most deadly viruses right now, but nature might make one that's even more. It's like, shut up.
I'm not sure how that ties together. So if nature made one, are you saying you're making one now and you're figuring out ways to mitigate its damage? I don't see this. I think they're just out there fucking around trying to make the most dangerous thing they can, because it's what they do.
Coming up with a cure to make more money.
Weapon.
I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing. But we'll do the Cosmic Summit. I know you got to go out to dinner, George, but we're going to be at the Cosmic Summit very soon. Well, within a month, right?
It is.
Yeah, within a month.
Yeah.
And hey, guys, I mean, I got to say, y'all are absolutely the best friends. As I said it on shows with you before, but the first year I barely met you because I was so overwhelmed. The second year I got to know you. And this year, you're our best damn friends, man. I mean, clearly the summit, thank you for recognizing that we never reached out to you. Y'all found our little weird thing and came to Asheville, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's become a
I'm
good
a fan.
relationship. Yeah, and Gary's going to host. So I was like, man, we got to get him on stage somehow. So Gary's going to host the Cosmic Explorers panel. And what we call these Cosmic Explorers, I just needed a category for these people that put YouTubes on their helmet, you know, and go to Peru and just walk around and come back and show you, or go to Chaco Canyon or some weird unknown site, you know, and then just walking around out there. I just love those. Michael Collins, the Wandering Wolf, is on the panel, as is Raul of Pillars of the Past.
Yes.
And Nikiana Jones, you know,
She's great.
and David Stig Hansen, who I'm no reshot structure proponent, but I love that guy. I mean, Jimmy Corsetti, God bless him, you know, he still hasn't been there, you know, and he's making bank on it. David Stig Hansen will, you know, save his lunch money for 6 straight months and fly over there and rent a camel, and has been out there 3 times.
Yeah, it is not easy to get there.
Does that?
It is not easy to get there. Yeah. And they're finding
Jimmy,
out crazy
where's
shit.
your damn camel, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I dare you to go, Jimmy.
Touch the
Jimmy's going to go now. I can hear him just like, oh, fuck, I'll go.
He's like, damn it. All right.
No, hey.
I went to Egypt with Jimmy. It's hot too, Jimmy. Just goddamn, it's not that much harder than going to
the Grand
not
Tour.
that much harder than going to Egypt. It's just Mauritius.
Jeremy Clarkson kind of went there. So like the whole Grand Tour show went there.
Yeah.
And they put the Reshat structure on the show, which was hilarious. I freaking text Jimmy that minute. I'm like, dude, look, you know. So no, it's gonna be a fun show. There's so many great people going. Of course, Randall.
Thanks,
buddy. Yeah, and you put together a great show, and it's tons of fun.
Hey, can I give 3? I'm kind of, as we come into this last leg, I think I'm able to summarize why this one is different. And it's interesting, and the reason to buy the virtual pass too. We got 3 reveals. We got 27 speakers, 45 hours of content, a 2-day speaker program with an in-person ticket. Love everybody to buy those. We got to fill the room, or there will not be another Cosmic Summit. And then we got another ticket on Monday. This is classrooms. Okay, so that's 27 speakers over the course of 3 days, and that's the foundation of the thing. But we have 3 reveals this year. The first reveal is the Italian pyramid scan researchers Filippo Biondi and Armando May are coming to Greensboro for the next big tranche of information about what the fuck they think's under the pyramids.
In English this time.
In English.
Yeah.
And actually, I found an interpreter.
I might understand it.
Michael Donnellan, who is actually the second reveal, is going to be the interpreter for the first reveal because he speaks fluent Italian.
Nice.
Perfect.
And he volunteered the other day, and we'll get to him in a minute. He's an interesting cat. Okay. So Filippo and Armando are going to come, and I had Filippo on my podcast, and this tickled me, man. I
watched that one. It was good.
Yeah. The AC was running, and I said, "Hey, man, could you like turn down the AC or whatever?" He goes, "But George, that is the computers, you know, doing the data. That was the chipsets running in the back, the fans." I was like, "Oh God, don't turn it off. If it's coming to Greensboro, don't turn the damn thing off if it's making the spiral staircase more visible or whatever, you know." But so they're going to come give us another tranche of information. I don't know what it is, but it's damn well worth hearing, because the only thing everybody agreed on about this thing, absolutely everybody, is I need more information. So we have more information than has been provided by far, presumably. Coming to the Cosmic Summit at 1:30. They're going to have a global press conference at 4. We want any kind of press. If you got any kind of press credential, we'll get you in there. Let us know. And okay, that's reveal 1, the pyramids. Reveal 2 is that night at 9 p.m. and that is the premiere of Atlantica, which is a very highly produced documentary that you can go see the trailer on. If somebody will look that up with a C maybe, and I guess drop it wherever y'all drop it. Yeah, it's a great trailer, and it'll give you some understanding of what I'm talking about. So no, it's a beautiful documentary, and they have it in a docu-series form now. And we signed things. We're gonna have a premiere of it. He found Atlantis. I've been messing around with this stuff for 40 years.
That's a bold claim that I've heard multiple times.
And I'm not going to make it on behalf of like the summit says he found it, but just George Howard in my head. I saw the 3 shows. It was absolutely jaw-dropping. The guy found Atlantis, IMHO, in my humble opinion. Okay. And then Stephanie and Beckett, who are on my team, the Cosmic Summit.
Yep.
Well, they watched it before I did, and then they wouldn't tell me, and I lost the code, and I had to get it back from the producer again and watch these. But they wouldn't tell me the thing because the ending was so astounding. And then I watched. I said, "You guys are right," and they believed it. They were like, "The guy found it." So that's the second reveal. So we got the pyramids figured out. Then we got Atlantis found.
Atlantis.
24-hour period. But during the entire Saturday and Sunday program, we're going to reveal the largest collection of pre-dynastic Egyptian vases ever put on public display since Amenhotep was sticking them in the damn basement at Saqqara. Right? Cool. Matt Bell is bringing a number of objects to Greensboro.
Sweet.
And we're going to have a dedicated room where 3 hours, Saturday and Sunday, people could file through however it's going to shake out, but you can put your hands on them.
Oh, don't let me near them. I'll break one.
That's what I said. He's got to bring shag carpet. He's got to have like a 4-inch pile shag at the bottom of the thing. Yeah. I don't want any liability for dropped pre-dynastic Egyptian vases.
Yeah, please.
Right. So that's
60,000.
And not to mention all the party. We got a great field trip up to Pilot Mountain Friday night, and we got a bunch of free vodka. We got 10 cases of free vodka.
There you go. I'll
figure out a way to get rid of it. But y'all were great to come last year. We love you to death at the Cosmic Summit, and thank you for paying attention to these subjects in our event.
Thanks for inviting us. Thanks for coming on, George. You have yourself a very nice dinner.
I shall.
And I'll see you in a few weeks.
Y'all are great, man. What a great way to end it. See you soon. That's always
see you soon.
Yeah. Get off your digital ass and get out there, people. Come on. We got one thing a year where we can get together. Okay.
All right, buddy.
Out. Forbidden Frontier and Nerdrotic. Love you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, George.
Take care, George. Let's see this trailer real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, cool. You got to. I mean,
did you guys see this? I can share it.
Oh yes,
hang on.
Did you guys see this?
What's that?
New flavor of nut cream.
Nut butter? Oh wait, sorry, cream.
It's a new flavor, roasted honey nut.
Well, I love my nuts roasted and honeyed.
You know what this tastes like? This tastes like pure Reese's Pieces. Just like blended up and pureed. That's what this is. Pure Reese's Pieces. It blows the other one out of the water. If you thought that other one was good, it's trash.
So
it was trash.
Adam made sure to bring us all his nut cream.
It's true, I did.
Yeah,
can you bring some more next time, please?
He evenly distributed
100%.
his nut cream.
I went around and just passed them out.
It's
exactly
so much
how I
better
did
than Nutella. Like Nutella, it's fucking so much better.
It's true.
Adam's nut cream.
Now
check this out.
What can I say?
Not the Best Buy ad that's up there because I don't use ad block. Perry gets so mad at me for this. He's like, "You fucking boomer."
You are.
He does. He's all for fuck's sake. So 140,000-year-old bones of our ancient ancestors found on the seafloor, revealing secrets of an extinct human species. Now, they were calling it, some articles are calling it a city. What they did was, Sundaland. Sundaland was, Graham Hancock talks about it. So large portions of Indonesia, it was a big continent. And since the rise of the oceans, like, miles, hundreds, millions of square miles are underwater now. And now they're finding that there was concentrations of humans 140,000 years ago. So in other articles, they were using the term cities. I think that was the Daily Mail to kind of clickbait it a little bit. But they're finding bones under there now, which we knew they would. We knew they would. So and it's off.
Well, I didn't expect bones. I expected like structures of stone, but not bones. Like I didn't think that those would actually survive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ow.
That's crazy. Researchers have recovered Homo erectus.
Hey.
Nice rolling they are there.
Like that from the seafloor, which points to an unknown hominin population hunting on land that is now underwater in Southeast Asia. Researchers found, I want to say it again, Homo erectus, in a cache of more than 6,000 fossils dredged from the Madura Strait in Indonesia. I like to say it how
Interesting.
Graham says it. Bones. Okay, yeah. The H. erectus, ladies, bones were among a cache of more than 6,000 animal fossils hoovered up as a part of a construction project off the island of Java in Indonesia. This is the first time scientists have seen fossils from the submerged part of the Indonesia
Archipelago.
archipelago. I've heard it said before, and I can't say it because I'm having a stroke.
You just got to go fast with it, and then it's done.
Archipelago. There you go.
There you go.
Which connected
how-
islands like Java to the Asian mainland during the last ice age when sea levels were lower. The lost lands, called drowned Sunderland, were once vast open plains interspersed with rivers around 140,000 years ago. The newly discovered fossils revealed that the rivers were teeming with fish, turtles, rivers, sharks, hippos, and other marine life, while terrestrial giants such as elephants, the elephant-like stegodon? What's that?
No idea.
And water buffalo populated the plains, according and a bunch of people.
River
Apparently.
sharks. Oh my god, that sounds so scary.
What? River sharks?
You know, looking at this location of where this is, it makes sense that this would have been a huge city. Like if you Google Maps Madura Strait, let me see if I could just share my screen.
Yeah.
Please.
If you look down, okay, just give me a sec. There we go. Okay.
River sharks.
You can see that,
I
like,
don't need a river shark.
No,
this
thank
would
you.
be this would
Okay.
look at this body of water to like get through here. Like this was a major trading spot all the way down this whole island, getting down to there. You know, like this would have been a spot where a city was. Like, I mean,
sure,
why not?
Right.
And if they're finding it like right there, which is, I mean, I don't know what the scale is, but it's probably not huge. Imagine oh God, there's so much shit down there, dude.
You know, I'm assuming there's going to be something here at the end, you know, going around this way.
Islands, yeah.
Probably here too, in this little section, especially in between these. But this makes sense because it's like right this passageway through, you know, this trade it's got to be a big part of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
That is very cool.
140,000-year-olds. That's insane. Wow. Homo erectus as well.
Erectus. So
is that that's the nut cream, actually. It really gets the R's rolling. Sorry.
Age-old recipe.
Okay, I'm having fun.
So Anton Petrov, just I watched his
video. Yeah, tell us more about this.
Yeah, so he was talking about the it's called the Lashchimp excursion or Lashchimp excursion. Happened 41,000 years ago. And it was an almost pole shift.
Interesting.
Like a semi pole shift. It didn't completely flip.
Ago.
What happened was it was really inconsistent, and the North Pole, and he showed in his video, it like worked its way down to fucking Africa and then flipped back. And it took a few hundred years. So it was over the course of a few hundred years. And they equate it to the time when humans started wearing clothes, started sewing. Now, I think things had to lead up to that, but what their argument is it became necessary because basically the magnetic
cold
field
really quick
in parts of the earth was 10% of what it is now. So the people fought this, and there's still tribes that do this, that put that clay on their face and stuff, and that's when people started really going in the caves more. That's when human beings started making clothes, and there is now a theory being floated out there that this is what killed the Neanderthal. Now, Anton Petrov, he's like, I don't necessarily buy this yet, but you can see where they're coming from, because, well, how did the humans survive and Neanderthal didn't? And I think there was some suggestion that might have kind of sparked. We're making clothing. So that kind of sparks, we already had consciousness back then, but it really moved us towards the whole developing civilizations. Now, I think there is a part in like I don't believe in the theory of evolution like Darwin's, but I think like, basically hard times create strong men, so going through
Survival
the
of the
ice
fittest.
age, that survival instinct, and you're just fight or flight so much, it like put your brain on another level, and all of a sudden you start innovating because you're trying to survive. So you're using every
Right.
part of your brain, like, we got to figure this shit out,
Comfort kills.
so I think that might have been part of it, but he was kind of going like, whoa, because Neanderthal were doing cave art too. Humans were doing cave art. Neanderthal were doing cave art. As a matter of fact, a lot of the older cave art is being attributed to them now, and it's an abstract, which is kind of crazy. But and it feels like you got to build up to that. But that's the theory, is that and I had heard this before, but I didn't know like of this event, but I didn't know it was like a almost pole shift. That's the part I didn't know. And I'm like, whoa. Cool. And then he in his video is like, we don't have to worry because the next one's not for another 5,000 years. Now, I know a guy who would disagree with that.
Ben, yeah. Well,
Yep.
Ben also said that it's 6,000, 12,000 years. And
Yeah.
so that doesn't line up. 41,000 years ago, it wouldn't make sense.
No. But I mean, they were able to, like, it happened. Like something like that happened because they were able to find it in tree rings and everything. So they and they even tracked it, like, but it was just an inconsistent one, which I don't think things happen. I think that could happen at any time, and I think it's caused by the sun. I don't think it's a cyclical thing. I think there might be cyclical pole shifts, but I think there could be. We're so connected to the sun, more connected than anybody wants to admit, that when something radical happens to the sun, it absolutely affects the earth. Like right now, there's a giant fucking hole in the sun. You know that, right? Did you see Ben's video? And then I saw a couple other videos. So there's a giant fucking basically hole in the sun right now towards the south of it. And
who's
usually
to say, go ahead, you finish.
I was gonna say that usually those happen in solar minimum, and that's why this one's unusual, because it's solar maximum. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, who's to say a solar flare of X magnitude couldn't rattle the Earth to have a pole shift happen, or almost happen, right? Like a almost happen, and then it's like, all right, no, we're good. You know, who knows? Like we haven't experienced a solar flare that could wipe us out, because it could happen, or nearly wipe us out, right? We have survived by the skin of our teeth many times, I think.
Yeah,
you know? And I think that's true for the Younger Dryas. I think that we barely came out of there. I think we're lucky that Africa and probably parts of Australia, because like North America got wiped out. They were claiming humans weren't there until, thousands of years later, the ice sheet, and they're like, just because they didn't know, right?
Mhm.
But we were clearly all over the planet. But I think we got really lucky that it was just this side of the hemisphere that we survived. Because like, look at the megafauna. It's like, come on, of course humans got wiped out, annihilated. Even, and we're lucky.
Yeah,
that we haven't gotten hit by a solar flare that big, or an asteroid that could
or an asteroid,
or something that we discussed earlier, or some sort of panspermia virus that infects the entire planet, right? Or like The Last of Us, it has an interesting. I never played the game or saw the show or whatever. I don't really care for it, but the interesting thing about the zombies is like it's a fungus that infects the human body, right? So that could happen. Actually, a fungus could come from space that could just take over the entire planet, and we would not be able to stop it. And like, that's a potential. Like, that's crazy to think about, especially if we know that it's always raining down on us.
The show,
if it's always coming.
The show tried to equate it to the show. I've never played the game. Tried to equate it to it's a fungus in the show, and it's global warming. So they do a whole it's actually pretty good how they I mean, the fucking message is fucking retarded, but like how they present the first 5 minutes of the show, like it's an old 60s TV show, and the scientists like, hey, this shit can happen, and then it happens later.
Yeah,
but
Russ said there. I don't forget what he said, but there is a fungus that takes over ants, and it doesn't kill them
Yes.
immediately because it wants them to get into.
Oh, there is zombies in nature. There is.
Yeah, zombie
And
ants. Yeah.
And
from the fungus.
if it can happen to an ant, it can happen
Mhm.
to a person. So there are zombie ants. That is, and
This is
I think the
crazy
first I
looking.
heard of that was 10 or 15 years ago, and
Yeah,
I was
dude,
like,
it's
oh
insane.
fuck. Yeah, and it's nasty what happens to that. Yeah, the last of must. Yes.
Oh God.
What other news do we have, X-Ray Girl?
Oh, I saw this and I thought this was quite interesting. So this is a chain of tweets here. Do you want to read this or shall I?
You can.
Okay. So in the hills of Pennsylvania, archaeologists found fire pits, tools, and food scraps buried in ancient earth. Some of it dates back to 19,000 years ago. If that holds, it doesn't just predate Clovis, it flips the entire timeline of human history in North America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Pennsylvania. The site is called Meadowcroft Rock Shelter, a sandstone overhang above Cross Creek, first excavated in 1973 by Dr. Adovasio. Okay. And they found church stone blades, charcoal-lined hearths, burnt hickory and walnut shells, bone tools, animal remains, including extinct species. And here's a kicker. Each layer was sealed and intact and untouched. So radiocarbon tests on charcoal bones and plants remains came back shockingly at 16 to 19,000 years ago, thousands of years before Clovis in Pennsylvania, not the Bering Strait. This wasn't supposed to be possible. So who's using tools?
But yet it is. And it goes way older than that. And they just keep finding this stuff keeps getting older, as Graham says. It just keeps getting older.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah, so this is just more about the stuff.
Backlash came fast. Critics said the dates were wrong. Cole messed with the samples. The tools weren't real, but Vazio welcomed the heat. He brought it outside lands, reran everything, and published every step. 50 plus years later, those dates still stand. And there's the Bluefish Caves, and there's a couple of sites in Argentina that are that's a good point there, Chris Rose. That go way back. And then there's, of course, the chronic wasting disease is definitely something we don't want to jump into species of humans. You're absolutely right.
Tell that to the gain of function guys, because they're probably trying to make it work.
They are.
Can prevent.
Because why not? I mean, why not?
Why not?
Frankenstein fucks.
I know. Fucking evil. Like, that's why I hate that trust the science. I'm like, you know what scientists have invented? Do you know the things they have invented? Like, get the fuck out of here. Trust the science.
Just that line, trust the science, is inherently wrong, because science is not about trust.
No.
What the fuck does trust have anything to do with science? No. What the fuck? No.
I am not going to trust. Okay.
Yeah.
Do scientists trust every theory that comes across? No, they don't. They fucking pick it apart. So why in the fuck should I trust them?
Right. Scientists are supposed to pick everything apart, even their own theories. They want their own theories to be picked apart, because that's how you find the truth.
Yes.
At least for sure.
Fucking dude.
Yes. And I find major institutions want us to know everything but the truth. And that's what we're constantly fighting. That's why we got to go. The fucking internet, man, saved our lives. It's also going to probably destroy us, but it freed us from so much shit, much bullshit information.
Once AI gets a hold of,
you got to take the good and the bad. You got to take the good with the bad. Gave us a lot of porn too. And too. So hey, the internet was built by the fucking military and porn. Okay, that's what expanded it. So yeah,
I hate that you're right.
Yeah,
and it's now amounted to TikTok dances.
God.
Yeah. Good God. That's interesting. X-ray girl. Good,
Yeah.
good little find there.
Mhm.
I went back and rewatched
Found
some
it.
of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp's interview from last week. That was good stuff, dude. That was good stuff. I got a lot more out of it when I watched it a second time, Adam. The whistleblower, but it was
Really?
good shit. Yeah, it was. Yeah, because well, I mean, it's 3 hours, dude. So
Yeah.
I have to watch these things a couple times to pick up more information. But they talk about a lot more like actual instances that I must have been looking at my phone or whatever. But I highly recommend going back and rewatching it. I think it's one of the best things he's done, dude.
Man, Joe Rogan had a conversation with Brian Cox 7 months ago. I watched it the other day, and because I really am fascinated with like black holes and stuff. And
Yep.
they got
Black
into a conversation
holes,
about
son.
UAPs because when Brian Cox is sitting there, it's just it was a fascinating conversation, but it's like there's never any evidence. And Joe Rogan made that point. He's like, I talked to all these guys, and I've seen all this stuff, but like he hasn't, and I haven't. So like the UFO stuff, I'm just so sick of just hearing words. Like, okay, yeah, you said you've seen some stuff. You wrote the Immaculate Conception or Constellation, whatever.
You got to dive in a little more. I mean, because there is evidence. There's tons, and a lot of it's hidden, and a lot of it's some of it's circumstantial. But then there's pieces. They've got pieces of fucking UFO, and so there's
that picture is interesting. That we looked at.
I still don't. I don't know what they are. Could be us. Could be an ancient form of life that developed here earlier. Don't know about that, but I know there's been enough sightings to where you just can't explain it all away. And again, it's the 1 or 2% that's out there. But if you tell me right now that our government is hiding shit, and I know they are. They fucking know. They know one way or another. They know, and the fact that they're not telling us makes us more curious. So tell us what you fucking know, even if you don't know. And I thought Hal Puthoff, I don't know if you listened to that Joe Rogan one. That was great.
Not yet.
Had the worst explanation of why we'll never get disclosure. The worst explanation. It's fucking corporations. It's the third party corporations that they're doling out this technology to. And they keep us, and because it's outside of the government apparatus, and it's so spread out, and it's so clandestine because it's buried in just miles of just red tape, bureaucracy, and then secrecy, right? And we'll never fucking know. We'll never know the whole picture. It's like Skinwalker, we see a lot of like weird stuff on Skinwalker, but we never really see anything. It's fun to watch, and it starts in a couple weeks or in a week. But
is it?
Yeah, Brandon, he posted he's posted something saying that like this season, like, oh yeah, there's something exciting, and I'm like,
I hope so.
You motherfucker, you better be. I doubt it now. When you're saying that now, I'm like, okay. And they just showed a couple rocket launches. There's a trailer. You see the trailer?
Yeah, there's a trailer, but they didn't show much footage, right? I think they're holding back on.
I saw rockets, and I'm like, oh god,
rockets, drones,
yay!
The frequency.
Yes.
Walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "No, I'm just."
Yes, but I'm still fascinated by it, like every day, and we'll probably never find the truth in my lifetime. But having the government openly talk about it is interesting. And after listening to that interview, I pretty much come down to, yes, there's people who want us to know within the government. There's more people who don't want us to know. And all the disclosures being rolled back, which I was at the point where like, well, this is just a fucking op. But now that they're rolling it back, I'm like, oh, no, there's something there that they don't want us to see. And whoever the factions are, I don't know. But I found that guy to be one of the more credible interviewees that we've come across. There's some other guys I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, and even Hal Puthoff, there's people who don't like him in the sphere.
I like that interview. That was a great interview.
That was a good interview, dude. And it's a crazy sphere. Like the UFO the ufology sphere, they fucking hate each other. That's
Yeah.
poor Richard Dolan's like, I don't even know what to do. But if you want to read a good fucking book that might make you at least a little bit of a more believer, find Richard Dolan's Breakaway Civilization. So Richard Dolan, when he got into the field, he was just a historian, and he's like, I'm going to come in and debunk this fucking UFO thing. That was his whole thing, is I'm going to debunk it. And now he's like one of the top researchers. And that's happened a lot, where somebody goes, this is just fucking bullshit. And then they go in, they go, wait a minute. George Knapp, credible. Richard Dolan, really credible. There's not a lot of credible guys. Like within the ancient civilization sphere, there's so many more credible people. By the way, our friends went to the Sage Wall. You want to find Michael?
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was
Were you
supposed
crying?
to go. It sucked, dude.
I know.
I
I
got
saw
so much
your.
FOMO.
At
I saw
least
your
it
comment.
wasn't Snow White that stopped you from going.
I don't regret that. I knew it was a
Yeah.
smart decision. But this one hurt because it was a fucking waiting for contractors who didn't show up, who kept me from going to this. So they all went to the Sage Wall. Debunking, Dan, there's Michael looking like he's about to murder somebody. There's Jimmy. The boys stand in front of the wall. Nikiana, look at those guys. They're having fun.
I'm so jealous. Oh.
Look how beautiful that is behind him. Wow.
Mhm.
Wonder if there's any bears up there.
Oh, definitely. Look
Definitely.
at all the
Of course.
woods behind them.
Yeah.
They're all
there's one right.
packing.
Oh no, that's debunking.
Yeah. That dude. That's Sasquatch. Look at him. We love you, man. No, that looked fun. I was gonna go and I can't, but I'll make.
Do you have
up
good
for it
news
later.
at least, or did they not show up yet? Because you were worried that it spread into the laundry room wall.
They did show up, so it didn't spread into the laundry room.
Oh,
So
good.
we got good news on that one.
That's cool.
Great.
Yeah, I've got
Less
space
construction.
mold fungus in my water heater room, and it's black, dude. Like there's big
Ugh.
black spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
gross.
good.
that sucks.
Yep, and it wasn't there.
Fun.
It wasn't there when I went to Vegas, and it was there when I got back.
Mhm.
So shit.
Sucks. Yeah. Well,
Damn.
Yeah, bleach actually doesn't work.
There's like a spray they use to kill
Yeah,
the fungus.
there's a spray because bleach won't get into the into the paint. It'll just get to
Yeah.
the bottom, and the mold is inside the paint. Like it gets into the walls and stuff.
Yeah, you might just need
I
a couple new
checked.
walls. And
Yes, they're ripping out the
tear
walls.
the house down.
They're ripping out our fucking walls. Believe that shit. It's shadow people coming through. You're right, chat. That's
God,
it.
a portal.
A portal. A portal. Rook take Rook for $9.99 says, today I learned that the gunman on the grassy knoll was time traveling JFK shooting himself to save his reputation from scandal. I learned this from the British history documentary Red Dwarf season 7. JFK liked the drugs, man. He did. And the women. What was it like to be an Iron Man? I don't know. Logan Miller, where is 3/4 white? It's his birthday.
Today?
Today's his birthday.
Friday was his
Or was
birthday.
it Friday was his birthday?
Yeah.
Last Friday?
Yeah.
This past Friday, yeah.
Oh, shit. I gotta message him right now. I didn't know.
Yeah. Mark Clark, been a member for 26 months, says at work and can't pay attention, but I can't wait to watch when I get home at midnight. Definitely. This is good for late night listening. Appreciate you. Anytime you want to listen on YouTube and the Rumbles, it's appreciated. They are restarting 3 Mile Island. I hope so. They should restart San Onofre too. Nuclear power is actually not bad. Not bad.
Especially with the new molten salt reactors. They're incredible. They move through with magnets. It's freaking cool what they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
It's a lot safer. Ryan will tell you. He rode around on a ship that was nuclear powered. He was a tech. And
Yeah,
he'll
they
tell
don't
you
use
how
water
safe it is.
anymore.
No.
Awesome.
Melodic Method has gifted 10 Nerdrotic Live membership. Thank you.
Huge.
Thank you. And history shows again and again how nature points out the folly of men. Godzilla. It does. Yeah, we're gonna get a Godzilla -1 sequel soon.
I can't wait.
I still haven't
can't-
seen that.
Oh,
should
dude,
definitely
it's
watch
one of
it.
the best movies of the last fucking decade.
You will
I gotta
probably
see it.
cry.
Yeah,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
it's a very
Okay.
human story. It's a very human story. And
Interesting.
it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. One of the
Alright.
best movies I've
Okay.
seen in a long time. Long time. Before Superman could save Hollywood, it has to save DC first. The war between Snyder and gun fans is really unnecessary. I agree, but that's DC fans. So, like, they would have found two factions anyway. Just knowing what I know about DC fans, which I've been around them my entire life. And that's just the way they are. So the best way to navigate it is just talk about your movie. Do what Tom Cruise does. Just talk about your movie and say, I really hope you enjoy it. And don't try to poke the bear. Just don't fucking poke the bear. Hollywood wants to poke the bear. Poor Tom is out there, trying to do the best he can. And everybody's working against him right now. And if you want to go see his movie, go see his movie. You definitely got to see it in a theater. I thought it was very average. It was meh. Yeah. It was disappointing. I think that's the best word
Is it
for it.
the last one?
Yeah.
Is that
Maybe. I think
maybe.
it's probably
Maybe.
not.
Yeah.
There's a chance?
They left it pretty open at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like he got killed off like Bond did with freaking
Oh fuck. I hate
Bond
that
movie.
so much.
It's
No.
so bad.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to spoil
God, that
anything,
was
but
horrible.
end of the movie's worth it. You just got to get there. You have to get to the movie, but you get to the end you get through all the nonsense. The end of the movie is fucking holy shit.
All right.
Crazy. Stuff you won't see in cinema.
So go see another movie and then sneak in at the end. Check out check out the end. And then watch the rest when it comes out later. Okay. Noted.
Yep. Pretty much. But other than that, like, just watch Mobland or the
Mobland is so good. I can't wait for the episode to watch it later tonight. So
oh shit.
Later tonight.
I've seen it. It's fucking funny. Oh my god. I was laughing the most at this episode just because there's a bunch of like just non-PC conversations going on.
Nice.
I put a couple clips on Twitter.
Okay. I
didn't know Tom
Twitter
Hardy
then.
was in it. I like Tom Hardy.
Great cast.
Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren,
cool.
Patty Considine, Toby Jones. The guy who plays Richie is fucking great. Like, it's a great cast. It's a really good show.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can what do you got?
I got some rants here. We got
All right.
Snow Bell in Lion's Den with $1. Thank you.
Thank you.
F1 Hatchets for 5 says, howdy. Can't stay to watch. We'll check the show later. I just wanted to thank you for the Cosmic Summit Pass, which if you are on Instagram, I highly recommend you follow the Nerdrotic Instagram account because periodically they do a Swag Sunday giveaway. So
yeah, we got we're gonna be I think part of our next giveaway, I think it's 1 or 2, I can't remember, because I bought a full, like basically a case of Dynamic Forces, or they did a Kickstarter, formerly Diamond, which is now defunct. Did Monty Python and the Holy Grail game, like board game. So I bought a bunch of them.
Whoa.
Right. So we're gonna give one away. And
That's dope.
yeah,
that's amazing.
We'll have other giveaways too, other cool stuff. Happy Real Star Wars Day, everybody.
The day it actually came out.
The day it actually came out. It's probably the next day for you, but
yeah, I'm in the future. That's
you're
fine,
in the future.
That's true.
But yeah. There's rest in peace, Peter David, one of the greatest comic book writers ever. wrote the best Hulk run ever, passed away today as well. So rest in peace, Peter David. I got to meet him a couple times at cons. He's a good dude. Good dude. So yeah, we can wrap it up there.
There's a few more.
Okay, you go on.
Mod Eric K for 2 says one horrible place that should not be a country. Small island republic of Nauru. They have ruined 95% of land due to strip mining phosphates. They are the ones who applied for a small percentage of money from the company who is going to strip mine the ocean bottom. The corrupt UN never looked at the application to stop it. One country could potentially send the ocean into a death spiral. That sucks.
Horrifying.
And another one for $1 says nuclear reactor in San Diego just passed the nuclear free zone sign on Highway 5. No, I'm not talking about the San Onofre. That was
San Onofre.
Onofre, sorry.
We call them the nuclear tits.
Oh,
The
Because it looks like a
titties.
pair of tits. Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
And Dragonsworn on the Streamlabs side for $20 says, to quote the fat electrician, AI already took over the world centuries ago. It's called bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Put 10 people in charge of something with no individual responsibility for the results, and you have a soulless overlord.
Yep. He's 100%
Well
right.
said.
Mhm.
The Raven in the writing desk is a member for 19 months. Thank you.
A long time. Thank you.
Terrence Howard and George Howard, Iron Man joke. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it went over our
Oh.
heads. My bad.
Andrew,
My bad.
I
Well, he was
apologize.
War Machine.
We're
well,
not smart
I
enough.
guess Terrence didn't go on to become War Machine, but
He should have. He should have.
Mhm.
I liked
Speaking of
his.
fat,
Yeah. Anyway.
speaking of fat electrician, I recorded a podcast with Eli from
Oh,
Unsub
shit.
yesterday.
Sweet.
I
Cool.
honestly didn't. I thought we were just doing a meeting because I'm I'm talking some business with Eli.
Nice.
And then he's like, "You want to do the podcast?" I'm all, "Yeah, sure."
Cool.
So we recorded a podcast and we talked a lot about the book stuff.
Lovely.
Cool.
Getting some really dark territory in this one. It'll be out at the end of June. Say hi to Eli.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Wow, okay.
yeah, Eli's fucking awesome. He's my bro.
Sweet.
Awesome sauce.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Rook.
Thanks, Rook. Take Rooks. Rook, not Rooks. Yeah, Terrence Howard.
Interesting guy.
Interesting guy. Interesting guy. Really interesting guy. What should we do for a subject for next week?
I've
The
been-
0 point energy.
Yeah. 0 point energy
Want to do the
Point
0 point
energy.
energy? That's good. So that one takes
Stuff.
homework because
Well,
that's not-
I've posted a lot.
you have.
in the research. I post a lot in research. Maybe I post too much.
No.
I
No.
love it.
You
You help research this channel.
I just want credit. I just want
Sorry,
credit.
that honestly, I was half in a two different things at once.
I'm just saying.
Adam was the one that found the stuff about the 19,000-year-old fire pits.
Yeah. Just want yeah. It actually goes on. I found this.
She said that. I was like,
No, I
what?
think you said thank you for, and then I was like half in a thought for something. I was like, yeah.
Dude, I mean, honestly, that is the fucking internet, right? The internet is like,
I know it's true.
just a little content creator 101, unsolicited advice for any content creators out there. Just don't do like, if you're asked specifically about like if you started something or if you broke some news and you truly did, okay, cop to it. But
for
do
sure.
really steer away from I found this first. I said this 2 weeks ago. I predicted this. It's like, yeah, you and 5,000 other people predicted it. Okay.
Yeah,
Come
if you go into Jimmy Corsetti's comments, like there are so many people that try to rag on him for like, oh, this information was first on here, and Jimmy's like, but if you watch Jimmy's stuff, he expounds on everything and like talks about his opinion and his weight on that subject. So it's kind of like
he tells you where the subject came from. He never
Right.
says I broke this story.
yeah,
No.
it's so silly how the internet can be.
Yeah, he could say I signal boosted it. I mean, I
Right.
think that would be pretty
Which he
fair to
does,
say,
which is good.
which he does. But
Yeah.
no, like that's just something you want to steer clear of. Like,
Yeah.
like because you know what, somebody else probably thought about it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Somebody else probably
Sure.
came up with it. And I would say I would attribute most first anything to the chat. The chat usually comes up with shit first. So
Yeah,
that's
I
I
love
do
it.
try to. I'd scour. You know, it's so funny. I
do.
do more research for this show than my own show.
I do more research for this show
Yeah.
than any other stream.
Yeah, that's
X-ray,
not
X-ray
Have
girl,
to.
Lady Gravemaster, like gets me articles, all my
She's
Hollywood
awesome.
articles. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I have to read them, and it's fucking horrible. I'm going to tell you right now, the worst part. I love this job, but the worst fucking part is reading Access Media articles. Like,
God, I believe it.
I had to take a
'Cause you
break
know
from it
it's
for a couple
trash.
days because you just like
Mhm.
they're so fucking
It's so
retarded
repetitive too.
Yeah.
and
I
repetitive,
believe it.
and there's like maybe 3 sentences of meat in each article, and most of it is
Right.
like, we're going to
Fluff.
talk about the Avengers. They're going to recap like the process, how Marvel
God.
led up to the Avengers. Like, get the fuck, just tell me what I need to know. That's why
Right.
Control F
That's
is
why I
great.
like Twitter.
Yeah, but yeah, like the worst part is just the hours and hours and hours of stuff I don't even use
So true.
to go through it, and it's just so fucking dumb. God, it's
Mhm.
all a bunch of cope. But no, like in this one, it's fun to read the shit. So the stuff you post, I'm like
Oh,
there,
yeah.
I'm like reading it. So with 0 Point, the reason we have to do homework is because of all the people who've
I
died.
posted multiple videos.
Yes.
I'll go back up and I'll find them and I'll tag you
repost?
and be like,
Yeah, yeah.
watch these. There's 3 videos that I posted. One's the Y files. You might have seen that one already, but
Yeah, the Wi-Fi's did a
there's
great
another
video
one
on
that
it.
I found that's just like, it's a lot of inventors. It's not just 0 Point energy. I think we shouldn't just focus on 0 Point energy. It's more
No,
inventions that have been smothered by bureaucracy.
yeah, the
Really
0
is
Point
it.
energy is going to lead us into the like
Right. 'Cause
anything.
that's part of it. Yeah,
It's
It is
bureaucracy snuffing out, literally in some cases,
True.
innovators who
Yep.
could better humanity, because it does threaten the overall economy. I'm of the belief
Yep.
that we can find a happy medium aside from like offing people. That would be
Right.
just me. Yeah, oopsie.
Well, and you know what? I think we should have a conversation about the future of humanity, because I think a lot of the smothering that is happening is to prevent true freedom with humans, because free energy would fundamentally change how society functions.
Mhm.
And the future of humanity would fundamentally shift in a different direction.
It would.
Because and with the advent of AI and robots that are coming, like the Tesla bot, whatever, Optimus, it's like we're almost going to be obsolete as far as like what our jobs are going to be. Like human jobs are going to go away, and like very quickly. Like
It already
AI
started.
and
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, we're approaching that very
Oh,
quickly.
dude.
So yeah, you know what I mean? So you see that conversation, like
OnlyFans
I think
is
they're trying to hold
freaking
it off.
out. OnlyFans is
With
freaking out
AI?
because like the
That's
AI is
true.
gonna wipe that out.
Well, you know that
And,
those girls have the money to just freaking set up their own AI to do that.
Well, I mean, that's the whole dead internet theory, and I'm like,
good point.
and
Yeah,
I think
that's
maybe
true.
that brings on the analog generation that will probably save us all. The
Yep.
analog generation will be like, I don't even know what I'm seeing is real or not, and like,
I got some great music back here.
There you
There's
go.
multiple levels. You can't see the rest of them, but
Mhm.
and yeah, it'll just be the AI entertaining itself at some
Yeah.
point. But
it's
you know,
true.
that's like
God.
Adrian Curry posted up there, just like, we're all fucked, and I'm like, I'm just glad I'm old. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll retire and get a flip phone, and that's it. But until then, I'll have fun. Thanks for another great show, says Buster Nut Smash for $9.99. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Sindek, what's up, brother? Forbidden Frontiers, badass. First time watching.
Nice.
That's such a
Welcome.
such a fucking lie. That is such
Oh.
a lie.
Wait,
Sindek.
Sindek.
Sindek. Currently working on our helping us with our new logo. With our new logo.
Yeah, I saw the sneak peek. Looking
You did?
cool.
Yeah, it's
Looking
fucking
really
cool.
good.
It is
Mhm.
cool.
I like
We'll
it.
unveil
I
it
like it.
soon. Yes.
I want some merch.
J-Lo Flicks for $5. They talk about 0 Point energy and Stargate Atlantis a lot. You got to watch. Thanks for the show. Thank you for
Awesome
watching.
stuff.
Okay.
Great show.
Love-
Race.
Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say Raceland Magier for $5 on the rant side, and then Zorbu comes
Dragon
in
Knights.
with the $20 on Streamlabs. Says, "Okay, I'll come clean. Yes, we've had some of our tech reverse engineered by you Earthlings. Examples: wheels on luggage. We did that first. Auto dimming headlights. Us too. The slap chop, also from us. Pineapple pizza. Nope. CIA did that to make you gay.
It says pineapple pizza is not a CIA op. All right, just stop.
It was made by Greek people in Canada.
Yeah. It's all right. Perfected here in America, like everything else.
Oh my God.
Like everything else. All right. You know, if we put our minds to killing our own citizens like you do in Canada, we'd be so much more efficient at it.
Yo, it's crazy what they've done in Canada. I'm actually working on something.
Oh, yeah?
Something up.
Dude,
Dude, it's crazy. The stuff that I found out about Canadian
Damn.
made stuff. It's anyway.
Like food?
Yeah.
Because food is one of the worst things. Here.
Medically induced death, like them
stuff.
assisting whatever the heck the anagram.
I
is.
thought Europe would do that first. I thought some Scandinavian country would honestly, and I think they do. I think there's a couple that do, but that
I haven't heard of it.
That just feels. Well, yeah, didn't they bust somebody who just did it in? I'm not going to say Sweden, but it was a Scandinavian country.
Haven't heard of it, but
they busted
I don't know.
some lady trying to do it. And they had some chamber. A Mrs. Convoy. No, it was the lady wanted to commit suicide. And I think they busted her before she did it.
What are they going to do to her?
The Scandinavians are going to get mad, but like, no, it just like, listen, I come from I come from there. All right. That's what
I come from there.
I come from there. All right. Yeah, you guys are kind of depressed sometimes, you know?
It gets, sad is real. Seasonal affectiveness disorder. I could tell you.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
It stays dark for a very long time.
Dude, I could never live there. I could never live there because it affected me in San Francisco because it was just gloomy all the time. It was gloomy all the fucking all summer. It's fucking socked in fog.
Man.
And people go, I love it. I'm like, this fucking sucks. I can't see the sun. You know, I grew up in San Diego, so I saw the sun all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like, no wonder why you're still fucking miserable here in San Francisco.
Well, the sun's coming out. It's still been cold. I don't know where the hell the spring is, but it's almost midsummer. It's like midsummer's in 3 weeks. It's like how. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll hit eventually. It's wonderful here. It's in the 90s, sunny. I love it.
I'm happy with my 60s.
I call bullshit on this. I give it 10 years.
Yeah. How would you know, Hertz Donut?
In 10 years, you're going to see digital or AI cheerleaders and robotic cheerleaders.
God, at least, hopefully they'll be women. with
boob physics. All right. Jiggle physics. It will be a thing. I'm telling you.
It's there already. I played Stellar Blade, okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do you say it? Propel, Pocket, Fisherman, and Instant Pot are American inventions and are not from Zorbu. Shout out to Stormtrooper Fail. There you go. He's like, fuck no. These are American inventions. How dare you, Zorbu?
Did we get the 5 gifted from WG? I'm not sure if we did.
We did.
Oh, we did. Okay, cool.
The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco, says Buster Nuts for $10. Fucking froze my ass off going out to Alcatraz with a bunch of, you know, like when family comes in town, you got to do like Pier 39, all the tourist shit. Froze my ass off out there. It was so fucking cold because it's windy too. Like it's super windy.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. Hey, they should. It's a horrible prison in the middle of nowhere, and then Nicolas Cage can save us all again.
Great movie.
Great.
Coldest place I ever was Chicago. Actually, I mean, I've been to Alaska. I'm in Sweden, but it's like, dude, Chicago, man, with the wind.
Must suck.
It's real. It gets real. But
I was just in Wisconsin. It was
Wisconsin's brick
fucking cold.
Yeah,
it is.
Wisconsin's bad too. It's
Alberta
the same.
is the worst.
They got the lake right there. It's just
we were right. We were where I was. We're like a mile away.
From Lake Michigan. You're right on the lake.
Oh
man,
it makes it horrible having that lake effect for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. Syndek 5 times. Hey, it's first time that I watch live. I have met Gary and X-Ray Girl in person. I need to meet Adam and Perry
Yes, you do.
to complete my Nerdrotic collection. You will.
Sweet.
You will.
Poor
someday.
Garrett.
Wait, I feel maybe he's telling the truth. Is
Yeah,
it
it just
true?
leaves Garrett
First
out
time live?
completely. By the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
no, it doesn't check
That
out.
is kind of sad.
Sindek watches live. He does.
We miss you, Garrett.
We miss you,
If you're
Garrett.
listening.
Happy
Garrett's out
birthday,
there going,
Have a
Garrett.
great weekend.
Sindek forgot me.
But Zorbu didn't.
Zobru will never forget.
Yeah.
Never
Zorbu's got like a picture with flowers in his room of Garrett's face with the probe right underneath,
Yep.
on a pedestal just being
Oh my
held.
god, the meme of Wolverine with the picture frame and Garrett's in it.
Yes. That's it.
He's all, I met Garrett already. Yeah, but you didn't mention it. You didn't mention it, Sindek.
It's true. You left Garrett out.
I was at the
Garrett's
San
going to see
Antonio
that
meetup.
message and it's going to be like a freaking stake to the heart.
Broke my
Or
heart.
his
robe to the
birthday.
butt.
On his birthday, you broke his heart, Sindek.
The nerve.
Jesus.
Wow.
Poor Garrett.
I ran out of characters. It's not a
no
great
respect.
excuse.
All right. We'll let Adam go to bed, and I'm gonna go back to. So I watched the new episode, X-Ray Girl of Mobland, but then I'm doing my rewatch, so I'm now on episode 7,
party?
and I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Oh.
Well, I'm preparing for my video, so I'm gonna watch it like probably 3 or 4 times all the way through. It's a rough job.
Tragedy. Oh my god.
Just to avoid reading articles, which I have to do all day tomorrow. So
Okay.
all day tomorrow.
Things you do for the internet. We thank
yeah.
you.
I'm working on a video. So, it's honestly a pleasure. It's fucking great. This is all gravy. This is gravy. And I appreciate you, Adam, and X-Ray Girl, and everybody out there. This is the best gig in the world. If the worst part about it is just reading some retarded articles, I'm having a good time. Okay.
Facts. 100%.
Yeah. It was a cold winter night in Chicago as Adam walked down the street when suddenly he was accosted by a black man holding a Subway sandwich. I knew where this is going. This is MAGA country. Garrett gets his own super chat. Happy birthday, Garrett. Quarter black. Happy birthday, Quarter.
You got there.
I got there.
Claps are for you. All right.
Now
Garrett
we're
feels
gonna go.
appeased. Thank you.
Garrett. Yeah, he's not even listening.
He's not here.
What does Garrett do for his birthday? He's gonna hang out with his kids, go to Lilo and Stitch or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
Cake, food,
The usual.
All right, what do you got coming up, Adam?
I got my show, Base Staff Monday. Hopefully Garrett shows up. I don't know. We'll see. We had my 150th episode last week, which was freaking awesome. And then I'll be continuing my Final Fantasy VI playthrough, my first time playing the game. I think I'm on part 7 now, but I think I'm like 70% through the game. I actually don't know because I've never played the game. So, but yeah, you could come check me out over on the Crigler Show on YouTube, Rumble, and those are my 2 spots that I stream it. And then Friday nights, I jam. I play guitars. These guitars behind me. I actually busted out my electric guitar.
Ooh.
My chat was like, "Do you have an electric? Play electric." And I busted it out and had a lot of fun and created some new music on Friday. So that was fun. And then yeah. So
Cool
thanks.
beans.
Appreciate you.
And the kids doing good? Mom's doing good?
So good, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. Oh, he's a little sick. He's been a little sick, but like not too bad. It's been, it's fine. Babies get sick. They do. So it's like, whatever. It wasn't that bad, so it's not that big of a deal, but he's scooting around and starting to climb up on things and scurry. What do they call it? Coasting. He's not walking, but he kind of is when grabbing. He could walk along a wall as far as the wall will take him. So it's freaking amazing watching him advance. But like the musician in me, seeing him, like when he sees me play guitar, it doesn't matter where he is. Like if I pick up my guitar, he's like, "Dad picked up the guitar," and then he like comes over to me, and then he tries climbing up my leg and just starts trying to strum the strings, and then I'll let him, and he'll start like strumming the strings, and it's like, how are you doing this at 9 months old? So and then I told you the piano thing. It's just I can't wait to play music with him. He's clearly likes the music.
It's gonna be rad.
I mean, I've been playing music for him since when I heard, because we followed the things through the pregnancy, when I knew that they could hear, and they're like, at this stage they can now hear you. I was like, instantly started playing guitar around her, playing piano. I started playing piano. I never played piano before in my life, so I literally started playing piano. I've been playing for about a year, and I don't know, I guess it's been about a year, or maybe a little more than a year, that I like learned the chords. Like I play a bunch of songs now, but it's because of him. But now he's soaking all that knowledge, and I'm like starting to see how much he's soaking that knowledge up, and it's just making me like, all right, well, he's gonna soak up everything because he's a baby, right? So like I'm being very conscious about my own life. It's been a really fascinating, I don't know, realization, awakening. I don't know how to describe it, but being a father it's fundamentally changed me as a human being, and I could never be happier. I couldn't be happier. Yeah. So anyway,
well done, Pops.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
X-Ray Girl, what do you got coming up?
I've been playing Expedition 33 Clair Obscur. It's been such a fun game. So I'm going to hopefully be finishing that game sometime this week. And of course, I'll be around during the Nerdrotic Nooner tomorrow on the same channel that you're watching.
As long as we don't push it to Thursday. It really depends on my work schedule.
So maybe I'll see you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be Monday or Thursday for sure in the morning.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, go on.
I was gonna say, and Memorial Day, I don't celebrate it, if you even want to call it a celebration. But I hope everyone has a good Memorial Day tomorrow.
You take a day off. Yeah, I kind of forgot it was Memorial Day weekend till it just rolled around. And I'm like, because I was gonna work on a video for Monday. I'm like, nope. I did that podcast anyway. So yeah, I because of my work schedule and travel schedule next weekend. Yeah, I might be flipping some things around just so because I've got 2 big reviews I've got to get done this week, which means rewatching a really good show and rewatching a really fucking bad one.
Gotta balance it.
So we're gonna balance
one and the other.
Yeah. It's like if I'm gonna review Doctor Who, then I have to balance it out with Mobland. I have to. Plus, I just want to talk about. I just want to talk about fucking. Well, yeah, I'm doing the worst one first. Okay. For 100%, I'm doing the worst one first, and I'm going to end on the good one.
I'm just glad you have a good show.
Yeah,
to watch.
Yeah.
And next Saturday they will announce when One Piece season 2 comes out. Netflix is doing this thing called Tadum. And it's a big thing announcing all their shows for this year. So they're going to announce the release date of Squid Game 3.
Tadum, like the sound.
Like Tadum. Yeah. That's what I think it is. That's how it's spelled. Tadum. It's Netflix Tadum. It's kind of a Tadum name, but whatever. But yeah, they're doing some live things. So they're going to announce Stranger Things release. They're going to announce One Piece, Squid Game 3, and Happy Gilmore and all their movies. You know what didn't come across the trailer at all? The Witcher season 4 and 5, which are supposed to come out this year. They didn't even hit the radar on that. Yeah, ghosted. They ghosted The Witcher
because no one gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Now I'm very I want One Piece season 2 to be great. I want it to be just as good as the first season. We'll see.
I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. We all got to watch it together in the UK. That was kind of fun.
That's true. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was good times.
Good memories.
Good times. All right. Cool. So we'll be back next week talking about 0 Point Energy. And keep an eye on the post section. I'll let you know if the Square Up gets moved to Thursday or not. But thank you, everybody. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. I love this fucking show. And we'll be back next week. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.